Happy New Year everybody, hope you're all doing really well. I've come out to Peel Forest today. I've never been to Peel Forest. This is really a scouting mission just to see what the location's like, to see what the conditions are like, to see how much light I get, and yeah, it's really nice in here so far. So just going to do some wandering around, see what I can find, see if I can get some good compositions, and yeah, a good way to start 2020. It's really tricky in forest scenes like this because when it's early morning light like it is now, it's normally a bit darker, so you have to really slow down your shutter speed to be able to get a correct exposure. But in doing that, you're normally opening up your shutter for around 1 to 2 seconds. And opening your shutter for 1 to 2 seconds can be problematic because I'm getting just gusts of wind every so often. So when I'm trying to do a focus stack where I'm focusing on a tree but also focusing on the ferns in the foreground, I'm getting some movement in the shot, and I've done that before where I haven't thought about the shutter speed and how fast it needs to be. So these forest conditions can be pretty tricky, to be honest. It's quite hard to be able to try and remember all of the things that you need to remember when trying to take a good shot within the forest. You might even find that you've got a really great composition, but adding all of the elements together with trying to focus stack and then trying to make sure you're getting no movement can be quite tricky sometimes. So it's worth remembering all of those details because you don't want to get back to your office or wherever you are and open up your photos in Lightroom and find out that they're all motion blurred or they're not in focus or whatever. So just make sure you take in all of these things into consideration when shooting in forest photography. So I've got another scene here now. So what I'm doing is I'm focusing on some little ferns just down here, and I'm also focusing on this big old tree just here. I'll show you what it looks like through the camera in just a second, but what's real important to mention is that it's worth, when doing forest photography, actively seeking out the light and then developing your compositions around that, because you can find an amazing composition, but if it has no light, then it has no essence, and you know, it has no draw to it because it's just a flat image. So what I've been trying to force myself to do is to follow the light, basically try and find where the light is falling and base my compositions around that. So in this particular shot, I've got the ferns in the foreground and then the old tree up here, which I'm also photographing. The only thing which is a little bit annoying is that there's actually just a branch sticking up just to the right of the tree here, which is getting in the way, but all of it is covered in this beautiful morning light. So that's what I'm basically focusing my composition on. What I love about forest photography is these little scenes of nature that really catch your eye. You can see all the ferns just kind of plunging into this middle well here, and it's just beautiful. So I've actually just captured a shot of this. Pretty simple, just making sure that the shutter speed's fast enough so that there's no movement in the ferns, and also just keeping the aperture quite low, so having a shallow depth of field, so I'm capturing more of the finer details and blurring some of the outer edges, but I think it's going to look really nice. Okay guys, heading back to the car now. It's just getting a little too bright for forest photography. So I didn't even cover maybe 2% of this place. It's beautiful and there's so much more to see, so I'm going to be coming back in the near future. Forest photography, it's a challenging genre of photography, I won't lie. To be able to try and find that order within the chaos, as it were, and convey that sense of beauty that you saw to the people that are looking at your photos is probably one of the most rewarding aspects of photography. So I would definitely encourage you to get out to your local forest and give it a go. Alright, well, thanks for joining me guys. First video of 2020. If you liked any of the photos that you saw, then let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you want me to cover in this upcoming year. And if you could subscribe, then I'd really appreciate it. But I'll see you on the next one, guys.